Hey everyone, this is Kevin here with Divinely Designed, and I have a little bit of a different video today, soap related, but what I thought I wanted to talk about is blending essential oils and masculine fragrances. So I'm planning to do some upcoming soaps that with a masculine theme, and I wanted to get some new fragrances and essential oils to try and develop some of those kinds of fragrances that sort of are considered more masculine. Now, I have to say this, as a guy myself, I certainly like lots of different fragrances. So while I think traditionally, there are masculine scents and feminine scents, I think certainly nowadays, especially, that's not quite as true. I mean, while, a guy probably doesn't want to smell like girly, perfumey, pink, and sparkly, they can still appreciate things like florals and fragrances that have been traditionally, I think, considered more feminine. So I'm not necessarily about putting people into boxes. I think everybody's an individual and your preferences vary. I may like some florals and hate some other florals. I may like some very traditionally manly scents and other times be more in a mood for more feminine scent. So I don't think we necessarily have to pigeonhole anyone today. But again, kind of thinking in kind of a traditional sense, more kind of masculine kinds of scents or fragrances. So I had a little bit of a shopping spree, and I thought I would do a little bit of a fragrance review. I have some fragrance oils here, and then talk a little bit about essential oils and blending. So my little shopping spree is for my fragrance oils is from Nature's Garden. For some reason, I tend to order all my fragrance oils from Nature's Garden and or Brambleberry. That's where I tend to get my fragrance oils. My essential oils, I get most of them from New Direction Aromatics. All of those companies I love, and I've not really ever had a problem with them. Their shipping's usually really good. I've never had a problem with a shipment. I've never had to use customer service for any of them, and I really like their products. So there are lots of other companies out there where you may like your fragrance oils from or your essential oils from. That's just where I get mine from. So I have a couple of fragrance oils. I thought I would just sort of smell them and kind of give my impression. And I think I have a little bit of a giveaway to do on this video as well. I bought, I mistakenly bought two of this one called Crackling Firewood. And I really only want one, so I'm going to give this one away for free. And all you have to do is just leave a comment down below. Anything you want, I don't really care. Since we're going to talk later on about masculine scents, tell me what your favorite masculine scent is. Either a fragrance oil or your favorite essential oil blend that you consider sort of masculine. Leave that in the comments down below. And then, let's say in a week or so, maybe 10 days, I'm just going to randomly close it and pick somebody at random, and then I'll contact you and I'll send you this Crackling Firewood, which was extra for me. So, but let's go through kind of the ones I bought. I have kind of a collection. I bought some sort of fresh scents, they would be considered. Then some sort of more masculine kinds of fragrances. So I'm just going to start randomly. This one is called Seaside Cotton. Kind of going for a fresh scent. Very nice. It is definitely fresh. It reminds me of fresh laundry, but a very soft fresh laundry scent. It's not sharp. It's definitely sort of just soft and rounded and clean. It's very nice. But I would sort of consider this sort of a gentle scent, This one's called Hot Maple Toddy. This one is very sweet. I definitely get the maple. It smells like maple syrup. I was hoping it would have more of a little bit of an alcohol scent to it. Kind of like a bourbon or a whiskey. But I really just get the maple sweetness with it. It's nice. There might be a little bit of a spicy tone in there as well. But it's not strong. The majority of that is sweet. Very nice, though. This one's called Tayberry and Teakwood. That makes me smile. That's nice. It's sweet. It smells like candy. That's what comes to mind is candy. But brisk and bright kind of candy. That's nice. I like that a lot. Cognac and Cubans. I was trying to pick out a few that had kind of an alcohol scent, and that because I was kind of going for that masculine. But this is Cognac and Cubans, like cigars. This is nice. This is definitely what I would consider sort of a traditionally masculine fragrance. It's rich, it's warm, it's a little smoky. Yeah, and I get that hint of alcohol. That's nice. Cognac and Cubans. Very nice. Like that a lot. This one's called Wild Wild West. Ooh. Woo, that just smacks you in the face. That smells like leather through and through. I get, woo. It's strong. But that's it. I get leather. That's all I get. I don't get anything else from it. It is super strong in the leather department, though. This one would probably be good to mix with some stuff. Apple Jack and Peel. I have this fragrance from another company, and I love it, and so I kind of wanted to see this one. That is so good. It is apple, cinnamon, orange, warm, cidery. Oh, that is so good. This is a fantastic fall scent, but I think of it as sort of masculine also. This one's called Glacier Falls. Another bright, crisp kind of fragrance. It's soft though. It's not in your face. Yeah, and a little bit of a watery. Yeah, I get it. I get a little bit of the watery kind of undertone. It's nice. Nice. I like that. And then last one is the one I have sort of an extra one of called Crackling Firewood. It's not, I was really expecting it to be very, very smoky and firewoody. And I get a little bit of that, but I get pine. I get a lot of pine from it. I get smoky pine. That's sort of what I get from this. It's not bad. I mean, I like it actually. It's very nice. I think I was expecting just something a little bit different here. But this would be a very good masculine kind of fragrance. Smoky pine. Yeah, I get, and a little bit of, I don't know, maybe a little bit of earthiness or maybe kind of a green undertone. A little bit of sharpness. Very nice, very nice. Okay, different than what I expected, so. Okay, so those were just some fragrance oils that I got, and I'm sort of preparing, right, because I have Brambleberry's fragrance soap panel coming up, so I'm going to have another video where I do some reviewing of some scents, so I wanted to sort of practice doing one before I do the Brambleberry one. That's my fragrance oils. Let me just move these to the side here. Let's talk a little bit about essential oils. So, I use both fragrance oils and essential oils, and there are soapers out there who only use essential oils, and soapers I'm sure who only use fragrance oils, and that's totally fine. Essential oils obviously typically are steam derived. You can get other ones that are made by CO2 extraction. And there's all kinds of grades of essential oils. You can get them from different areas of the world. There's a lot of information that goes into essential oils, right? Where they come from, sort of the purity of them. There's a lot of, if you go out there and read on the internet about essential oils, there's a lot of debate over, companies that have pure essential oils or ones that are adulterated with other base carrier oils, things like that, But there's a ton of information out there. The first thing I want to say about essential oils, and you can see I'm using gloves, is read up on the essential oils that you're using, because all of them have safe usage rates in different kinds of products, and don't apply them directly to your skin. Some of them can have harmful effects. Some of them are sensitizers. Things like citrus oils can make you sensitive to the sun, things like that. The essential oils you should never really use undiluted directly on your skin. If you're going to use them, dilute them in some kind of carrier oil like jojoba or sweet almond oil or something like that. But don't use them directly, and don't ingest them. Again, there are people out there with special certifications and special training, and you may kind of know what you're doing. That's fine. But for the general public, just be careful with them. Essential oils, are strong, and you should treat them sort of with a little bit of respect. That's all I'm saying. Okay, tons of essential oils that you can blend. These are new ones for me. I have a couple of other essential oils that I've had for a long time, but these are new to me, and so I thought I would kind of do smell tests again for them. Now, the first one is a citrus scent. So I actually have two on here, an orange and a lemon, and they're both 5-fold, meaning they've been very concentrated. And why they do that is citrus scents tend to not hold well in soap, right? They tend to lose their citrusiness very quickly and fade. So the concentrated versions of them are supposed to stay longer. Now, I've never used the concentrated versions in soap. I have some citrus scents like grapefruit and blood orange, I've used them, and I kind of agree. They do fade a little bit. Now, I still can smell some of mine, I think, after I've made them. That was my cat. But I agree, they do fade over time, I think. So the folded ones, or the concentrated ones, are supposed to stick longer. So I have, this is orange 5-fold, just smells super orangey. And this is lemon 5-fold, and smells super lemony. So citrus scents, again, be careful of citrus scents. They can be photosensitizers. Meaning if you go out in the sun, you can actually have a reaction of them. Now, that's if you had them sort of undiluted. I read this case that somebody posted of these young girls in Florida, actually, who, for whatever reason, they had like a fight by throwing oranges at each other. I guess they had an orange tree in the yard or something. I don't know. They did something little kids do. But they ended up sort of covering themselves in orange oil, from the rinds of them, and they were in the sun. It was a sunny day in Florida. They were by the pool, and they ended up with horrible burns all over them because they were in bathing suits, and so just be careful. Things like that can happen. But anyway, so we're talking in soap. This is something that's going to go through the saponification process. It's something that's a wash-off product. You probably don't have that many concerns with essential oils in soap itself. But again, read up on your essential oils, know kind of what they do, know the pros and cons of using them, know the safe usage rates. But those are my citrus scents. Okay, so next one, this one's called Sweet Basil. This one's from India. And it's very nice. It smells very basil-y. It's actually kind of more of a mellow basil, surprisingly, but it has sort of a sharp note at the very end of it, like a very green sharpness to it. But I like it a lot. This is ginger root, and I've always wanted to try ginger essential oil. You can get, I think, other types of ginger that are acquired differently. This one's steam distilled, I think. This one, yeah. But you can get CO2 extracts, which are supposed to smell much more gingery. They're very expensive though. This is a ginger root that's been steam distilled. So I get ginger definitely with it, but it's not sort of an overpowering ginger. It's a very earthy ginger, a kind of, I hate to say this, but like a dirty, it's sort of, it's got earth mixed into it. I don't know how else to describe it, but you get ginger and you get earthy kind of base to it. This one is turmeric, and I kind of got it just to play with it as a kind of weird one. I've already smelled these. This one, this one's really strong. It is not my favorite, but I will say this: I bet you it will make a good base for some mixes. I'm going to talk about those in a second. Next, this is one of my favorites that I ordered. This is sweet birch. Ugh, it smells so good. And I have a hard time describing it. It is sweet, it is woodsy, it is fresh. I like it a lot. I kind of got this one also sort of on a, hey, let me try something, unusual. And I'm so glad I got this one. It smells so good. The last one's a really interesting one too. This one comes in a glass bottle, and it's, I have a little kind of, in this little cup here, so hopefully you can kind of see, it's thick. It's like a gel. I mean, I can hold it upside down, it doesn't come out. This is benzoin, and it is, if you read the reviews of it on New Directions, they often describe it as warm vanilla, and a couple people have said vanilla. You can get vanilla essential oil. It's very expensive also, but this is a good replacement for it. I've never smelled vanilla essential oil, so I don't have a comparison. And I agree, it smells like vanilla. Now, I would not make the strong comparison to vanilla. I get vanilla tones to it. But I also get it's funny, as a nurse, I've used benzoin. We use it to make skin sticky. So I've smelled this before and I never really realized kind of what it was. So to me, because of my background, it smells medicinal to me because I think I associate it with the hospital. It's a very unique smell. So as soon as I smelled it, I was like, oh yeah, I've used benzoin before, and it took me back to sort of working in the hospital. But it does have sort of a sweet, warm, vanilla kind of fragrance. But there's something else, and it's really hard for me to describe. There's something else in there I would describe as sort of medicinal, but not unpleasant. Very nice. People talked about this essential oil as being a fantastic base. A little goes a long way. And to use it, they say you typically have to sort of warm it in a pan of warm water to get it moving because it's so thick. It's a little hard to use. Okay, so those are my new ones. And what I wanted to talk about for a few minutes then is blending essential oils. Or blending fragrances, right? Just because you buy a certain fragrance oil doesn't mean you have to use it alone. You can blend it with other fragrance oils. Now, the thing I will say about that is sometimes you can read a fragrance oil that they'll say it doesn't accelerate trace or anything. And then if you blend it with some other fragrance oil, which they also say doesn't accelerate trace, just because both of them don't accelerate trace on their own doesn't mean that after you blend them, they're not going to. So just be aware of that, right? Sometimes you can mix things and get different concoctions that may not behave exactly the way you think they're going to. But lots of people blend essential oils, right? Both for the fragrance, and there's certainly a lot of people who do aromatherapy out there. There's also lots of just different claims about what essential oils can do for you. I'm a nurse. I believe in Western modern medicine. I'm not saying essential oils can't do anything for you. I think there's a lot to be said about, kind of aromatherapy and sensory recall with fragrances. providing kind of relaxation, stress reduction, those kinds of things, all of which I think can help improve your health in general. But there are lots of kind of wild claims out there that certain essential oils will actually cure diseases and things like that. And be wary of those things, people. There are snake oil salesmen today just like there were yesterday. So just be careful about those things. I think they are wonderful things to use to make you feel good because they smell great. That's what I think about them. So, all right. So if you're going to blend some essential oils, I think some very basic tools. Some pipettes are kind of essential to it to draw out small amounts, especially if you're just sort of testing. Glass containers to mix them in, or I have these little medicine cups which are hard plastic. These are okay if you're going to do things that are, that you're just going to keep momentarily. You're going to test in a very short term. You're not going to keep them for long periods of time. If you want to put some blends together, let it sit for a few days and come back and sort of smell it, which a lot of people do because they feel like the blends will actually sort of meld or mellow over time a little bit. So some people will do mixes, smell them initially, give them a few days, and come back and smell them again and see how they change. You're going to want a glass container probably to do that with a lid on it to store them. So if you have small glass containers that you get from like jelly jars or things like that, you might want to save those. And the other thing, I think something to mix with, these are popsicle sticks, so something small, disposable popsicle sticks you could use. I'm sorry, these are lollipop sticks. Popsicle sticks you could use, or you can use the pipettes themselves. I try not to do the drops of the pipette and then mix it and then use this for another essential oil, so I want to keep them clean. So that's why I try not to use the pipettes themselves, but okay. The other thing you probably want is a notebook and a pen. So when you make some blends for essential oils, write down your recipe, and then keep notes on it about how what you think it smelled like. Was it good? Was it bad? If you're going to keep them over a few days, document kind of how they changed and how you like them. I'm going to go over just a couple of oil blends, some of which I found on the internet looking at blogs and posts and just essential oil sites that are out there, and then a couple that I just made up on my own. Now, I don't think there's any hard, fast rules about blending essential oils or essential oils and a fragrance oil or fragrance oils together, right? I don't think there's any hard and fast rules. Again, I approach it from it smells really great. That's what I'm kind of going for. Especially for soap, again, not a leave-on product. You're going to get it when you shower or take a bath. Some soaps I know will leave a fragrance kind of on your skin for a little while afterwards. A lot of them tend not to even. I mean, after you're done in the shower, I certainly can't smell it on my skin. Now, some I can, but things like lotions and creams are different. They tend to have the fragrance stay with them for long periods of time. You're not really exposing those things to lye, so the essential oils may remain more unchanged, kind of. So I think for soap, you get a little bit of leeway in sort of how you do with them. So, all right, so I just went online, looked up a couple of them. Now, when you're mixing, you want to think about, like from the realm of perfumery, right? You want to think of a fragrance and think of it in terms of base notes, middle notes, and top notes. So I took a few notes here about them. So base notes. So these are scents that help to anchor your blend, right? Think of them as sort of the stage on which the middle and the top notes will perform and will play, right? They help to ground the fragrance. That's your base note. The mid notes are kind of the heart of your scent, right? They can help to sometimes soften the base notes that you've done, as well as elevate the top notes a little bit. But they kind of represent the heart and the meat of your fragrance. And then the top notes. The top notes are sort of like the introduction. They're the ones who are like, hey, how you doing? Welcome to this fragrance, right? Come on in, the water's fine, but let me introduce you to the rest of the gang, right? That's the top note, the kind of forward piece of it. So think about those when you're combining essential oil blends, how they will kind of play with each other. What is your goal? What are you trying to go for? Are you trying to go for a really mellow, earthy scent? Are you trying to go for a really bright, uplifting scent? Are you trying to go for something middle, but with a sort of floral tone to it? think about your goals and then kind of develop recipes from there. So I have a couple from the internet that I just went out and kind of looked at them. So this one, now again, no rules, but these are ones I just found online. So this is, now, oh, and I'll talk about when you mix them in parts, right? And a part can be anything. So if you're going to mix by an ounce, and you have a recipe that is 1 part lemongrass, 1 part cedar, and 1 part lavender, then you're going to mix an ounce of each, right? 1 part of each. But your part can be anything you want it to be. I'm using drops right now because I'm doing really small testing, and if I find something that I like, I might move it to a higher sort of quantity. Maybe I would go to a ½ ounce at that point, or an ounce, or whatever it is. But I don't carry a ton of essential oils. They're also kind of pricey. So I think when you're testing and blending and trying things, using really small amounts is totally okay. So a part could be 1 drop. Now I know that different essential oils will have different sort of densities and viscosities and all those kinds of things, and drop sizes can vary. I know all that, right? I get it. But again, I'm in my kitchen making soap. I'm not like at a big professional lab or anything. So I think this puts you in the right direction. If then when you scale it up, you find that the scent changes a little bit, you can always make adjustments. But for small amounts, I think using a drop is fine. Okay, so in terms of parts, that's how we'll give these recipes. This one is 1 part lemongrass, 1 part cedar, and 1 part lavender. And what I looked up online were masculine kinds of blends, right? That was sort of what I did for my search. Lemongrass is great. It's very citrusy. It tends to stick a lot better than like real citrus scents. But it has a very green, what I would call a green note to it in lemongrass. So I get a lot of lemongrass here. I do get the lavender and the cedar though. This is a nice blend. I like this. 1 part lavender, 1 part cedar, 1 part lemongrass. Very nice. This one is 8 parts grapefruit, 1 part cedar, and 1 part ylang ylang. Nice. I happen to love grapefruit, that sort of smell. And I'm not a huge fan of ylang ylang. It has like ylang ylang is kind of a floral, but like a weird floral. I don't know how to describe it. This is nice. I think the cedar here helps to moderate the ylang ylang a little bit, which I sometimes find just has an odd fragrance to me. And I definitely get the grapefruit, which is just right up front. And so that's that top note, right? Hey, how you doing? Grapefruit here, right? That's nice. Okay, this was 1 part grapefruit, 1 part blood orange, 1 part basil, and 1 part patchouli. Now, I will tell you, patchouli, which comes in a couple of different varieties, is often hailed as like one of the great sort of essential oils that are base notes. I hate patchouli. And there are definitely people, you either love it or you hate it, I think, is what I've kind of gotten from online forums and stuff. I am one of the people that hates it. I cannot stand patchouli as I smell it out of a bottle. It smells dirty and gross to me. But I will tell you that I have mixed it in with blends, and it changes a lot. I do like it, I find, when it is blended with other things. This one, not so much. I definitely get the patchouli here. It is very strong. So basil, blood orange, grapefruit, in such small parts here. This is a 1-to-1 kind of mixture. The patchouli is just too overwhelming for me here. I'm not a fan of this blend. This one is 6 cedar, 2 lavender, 2 tea tree, and 1 lemon. Tea tree is also another one I'm not a huge fan of, but I find it okay when it's blended. This is nice. I still get a lot. The tea tree is, I can pick it out definitely, even though it's kind of small. And I think the cedar actually enhances it a little bit. So again, this is okay. Not a huge fan of this mix, but it's not bad. I don't mind it. I mean, it's, it's okay, sort of in the middle. All right, this last one might be kind of, I don't know, maybe the most famous kind of essential oil blend. It's called the Four Thieves blend, and you can find lots of recipes out there, and some of them will vary, I'm sure, but and there's a whole story that goes behind Four Thieves, and I'm not going to worry about it. But anyway, so 6 parts rosemary. Oh, I lost my... 2 parts eucalyptus, 2 parts cinnamon, 3 parts lemon, 4-part clove. Cinnamon essential oil is very strong, and it to me it doesn't. And I have cinnamon leaf. Cinnamon leaf. I think you can also get maybe cinnamon stem. I'm not really sure. Cinnamon root. I can't remember. But cinnamon leaf, it doesn't have a cinnamon. I mean, it has a tiny little bit of a cinnamon fragrance to you when you think traditionally of cinnamon. To me, it has much more of a sort of spicy green scent. It's not my favorite. And neither is this blend either. This is the Four Thieves blend. Again, probably pretty well known. It's okay. I'm not loving it. There are tons of people out there that say Four Thieves essential oil is a cure for all kinds of things, right? Again, I think they smell good sometimes, right? That's sort of me, but this is okay. I'm not totally, I'm not sold by it. It's so-so. I think my favorite was the first one, the lemongrass, cedar, and lavender. It's a really nice blend. It's not overly floral, but I get the floral. I get the sharp lemon to it, and it has a really nice just base to it, sort of a mellowness. This is a nice mix. I like that mix. Okay, some mixes I put together just today, just sort of trying and playing around. This one is 4 parts benzoin, 3 parts lemon, and 3 parts sweet birch. That sweet birch just kills me. I love it. And mixed with the benzoin is so nice. Ooh, this was a good mix. And I totally just sort of played with these and picked them out. This smells fantastic. It's got that warm vanilla kind of quality from the benzoin. It's got that sweetness from the birch. And the lemon just makes it nice and bright. I think the birch adds a little bit of the base note to it, but it is definitely kind of an uplifting. That's very lovely. I'm going to have to remember that one. Okay, 4 parts orange, 3 part basil, 3 part ginger, 5 part clary sage. Like it? Don't love it? It's nice. That's all I have to say about it. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just nice. Okay. 2 parts turmeric, because I wanted to try the turmeric. 4 parts lemon, and 4 parts star anise. Now, star anise has sort of a licoricey kind of scent to it. This is weird. It almost, I mean, it barely smells like anything. It's so weird. Although maybe my nose is like overwhelmed at this point. It's so weird. It smells almost like nothing. Can you have scents that cancel each other out? I get a tiny bit of a lemon. A tiny bit of lemon and something else. But that's it. That's weird. Okay. Odd. Alright, 5 parts mint, 4 parts rosemary, 3 parts lemon, 3 part orange. That is nice. When you put mint and rosemary together, I think it's a winning combination right there. The citrus notes to it add a lot. This is lovely. I love it. I love peppermint. I like bright minty essential oils. I could smell that all day probably. That's great. Okay, last one. 6 parts litsi, 4 parts patchouli, 3 parts basil, and 4 parts sweet birch. That's nice. Now here's a good example of patchouli where I like it in a blend. I can't even tell you I can't stand patchouli. But here, I think it does what it's supposed to do, which is sort of that nice rounded bass note to it. Again, right, that bass note that sort of gives the other notes kind of the stage to perform on, right? This is nice. The sweet birch is like really kind of, in general, out of the bottle, is really sort of in your face. Here, it's mellow. It has mellowed here in this mix. It's lovely. I don't get the basil very much, although maybe that's adding to the base as well. And I get the Litsi. The Litsi is more of a citrusy kind of fragrance, but it's sort of in the back. It's funny. I think the sweet birch is really the top note here, and the Litsi is, I think, well, maybe not. I don't know. I definitely get the birch, so I think that's the top note. But the Litsi and maybe the basil are kind of in the middle. Maybe that's why, and the patchouli's at the bottom. Nice, lovely fragrance, actually. Okay, so that's it. What are your favorite essential oil masculine blends? Or what are your favorite masculine fragrance oils that you love? Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me, what essential oil for masculine fragrance is a must-have. I will tell you the two I wanted to try and I didn't get and I don't have and I've never smelled are black pepper and vetiver, right? But I've heard vetiver is a lot like patchouli, so I was a little shy on buying it. And black pepper is a little expensive, and I wasn't sure I would love it either, but I almost bought it, and I'm sad I didn't now. But those are two I definitely would like to try. So if you've tried those, vetiver and black pepper, let me know what you think about those, and tell me some of your favorite masculine blends. Leave a comment down below. I'm going to pick somebody at random in like a week or 10 days or so, and then I'll send you that extra fragrance oil I have, okay? All right, that's it, everybody. This is Kevin from Divinely Designed. Check back here for more soapy videos and crafty videos. If you like this video, click that thumbs up button, and if you aren't subscribed to my channel, click on that subscribe button down there in the corner, okay? Thanks, everyone, and have a great weekend. Bye.